Hello and welcome to another live from Tanya Tomasevich, the group I created on Facebook called Intuitive Minds Already Know. I'm just going to shuffle some cards as we wait for some people to get on here. Hello, Grace. I think I need to give you a medal because you're always the first one to get on here. Welcome. We're just going to shuffle my cards. Tonight's topic is the modality I use, oracle cards. That's how I use my intuition, skills, and abilities. Tonight, I will be showing you remotely how I do an oracle card reading, some of the routine I go through. So what I like to do first is I like to wash my hands, and I've already done that because that kind of sets just like a cleansing. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. Kind of like a protection. So I'm just going to shuffle some cards until I get some more people on here. I would like, as I start drawing cards, you are encouraged to ask questions. And I'm going to use the cards and my intuition to answer those questions for you. I do have like a routine. I use some doTERRA oils. I have Breathe on tonight and Cheer and Calmer. So that's what I put on tonight. The stones I'm going to be using for myself, this is my foundation stone. This is orange selenite. When I do an oracle card reading, I kind of put this in my hands and ask for my spirit guides to be here. And one of my spirit guides' name is Andy, and he is a Pegasus. And my husband got this for me for Christmas. And look at, he's got a star on his forehead. So this is Andy, short for Adrominus. So he was a spirit guide that I met in one of my meditation sessions. So he's here tonight. He's pretty strong. He's there for me when I'm down, when I'm up, and when I need him. He's always there. He's like my cheerleader no matter what. So I use my foundation stone that when I meditate, I usually always put orange selenite in either my left or my right hand. And the other stones I picked out tonight, a protection stone, because I don't want to absorb or emit any negative energy, only positive vibes. This is Snowflake Obsidian. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my go-to favorites. And if you look really close, you can kind of see like it has snowflakes on it. And who doesn't like snowflakes? Because we're all unique and we're all different. I have 4 eyes. I have 3. You can ask questions once I get going here. The other stone that I chose 3 tonight because I couldn't decide on 2. The other stone that I have is Holite, and this is another protection stone. It's white. The light in here is kind of too bright, but it is white. So I pick out those stones for myself, and then I also allow whoever I'm reading, I will refer to them as a client. I will sometimes have them pick out a stone. And here is my handy dandy box that I take. I have quite a good start of different stones that I've been drawn to and collected, and I put them in this box. And it's an easy way to transport them. And then I have them all labeled, so I know which is what. And it's a handy dandy way to transport them to my readings when I don't do them at my house, because I do travel. All right. So the first thing I ask the client when we're doing a reading face-to-face or remote. I prefer face-to-face. There's more connectivity. It's more personable, but I do remote readings. If you've been watching me, I did announce in December that I would be charging for oracle card readings. So I am charging now in January and indefinitely. Right now it is $15 for a 30-minute reading, which is like a 1 to 2 card. And then for a 5+ card reading, it usually takes an hour, that is $30. So it's affordable because I know there's a lot more out there, even online, that charge more. So then I will ask the client, do I have your permission? And are you open? Do I have your permission? And nobody's ever said no, that they don't, because why would you schedule a reading with an oracle card reader if you're not open at some point, at some degree? And then I ask for my spirit guides to be present and to assist me in the reading. And that's my introduction. Sometimes I ask for the client if they have an intent. And if they don't have an intent, then we use the universe. How do I say that? For your highest good. So it's just generalized. It's just a standardized, and it's always going to be for your highest good. So the cards, I have 3 decks that I use. I use this one called the Enchanted Map. I got this from a girlfriend of mine for Christmas years and years ago. And if you've been watching, I kind of explain how I got into the oracle card reading. Me and Travis we went to a wellness fair in Eau Claire, and we saw, just for fun, we're like, okay, let's just see what a psychic does, because I've never like paid a psychic before for a reading. And he told me that I could read people. And then, so fast forwarding now, Travis and I see a coach, and she suggested to use oracle cards. So I have that deck, and that's this is very artsy. There's a lot of detail in it. I use the cards. I also use the book. The second deck that I use is this one, and it's the Crystal Spirit Oracle card. It's not as artsy. It's pretty I don't want to say boring, but it's pretty. I mean, there are details in it. The more I use it, the more intuition I do pull from it. But I like this deck the best right now. It's my go-to. It's my favorite. It's my comfort deck. And then my good friend Angela Ollinger, she created these self-love. This is a self-love deck. So at the end of the reading, I will let the client pull a card, and this is like a self-love card, and it gives you just like some good advice, some mantras, some affirmations. And so I usually give the client that and that's just a thank you for seeing me. And then every client gets, this is rose quartz. And this is like the universal love stone. It also is like a healing stone. So this is like, I give one of these cards, and then you get a little stone from me as a thank you right off the bat. All right. So Spirit's here. I got Andy. Andy's my main spirit animal. Everybody has a spirit animal. You can meditate on that and try to meet yours. So I met mine, I think, a year ago. And it's interesting because he didn't come out as a Pegasus the first time I met him. When I met the spirit animal itself, it was just, I saw a horse. And then because that was all I was ready to accept at the time. So then after that, it became Pegasus. In another meditation session, it became Pegasus. And then I actually got a name. And so it was really cool when Travis got this for me for Christmas, because this is kind of like in my head what I was imagining Andy to look like. So it's pretty cool. I like it. He's going to be here right there helping me. All right, let's go. So we're going to do a 5-card reading. Maybe not. 5-card readings take about an hour. So we're going to do a 3-card. Sorry. So I did shuffle them. I'll shuffle them one more time. So we get some other viewers on here. Okay, there I got 5 eyes. How come I can only see that Grace is the only one watching? Feel free to ask questions, folks, because I'm going to use my intuition and the cards to answer the questions. So my intent is to make my client feel comfortable, and I will read the cards and use my intuition to the best of my ability. All right. So usually I kind of will put them in a fan in front of me, like kind of like a circle. Then I'm going to pick out 3. This is how I would suggest the client to do it. Don't know if you can see this. So I'll show, see, I kind of got a fan going on here. And then we're going to pick 3 cards face down. All right, so this one pops out to me. And so does this one. And so does this one. That was easy. So that's a 3-card draw. Still with me, folks? I'm doing a reading. All right, so then I put them in front of me, like this, or in front of the client. And I'll have the client flip over the first card. And the first card is the Gentle Gardener. I'll let you all look at it. There's such a glare with these lights. Ooh. So right off the bat, I'm getting like, I want to say mommy issues, but that's how I'm getting it, but that's not like, there's a different, that's the word I'm going to use now, but until I get another message, until I get more clarity. Definitely see protection with the lady, the older lady looking over they look like fairies. Ooh. So with this one, I'm getting allowing to break out of your shell. And I'm getting like to be creative, to express your artistic nature. Is anybody resonating with that? Now I'm going to use intuition because I don't know who's watching. I know Grace is watching, but there's 4 eyes. So is anybody out there? There's like an older lady coming through, and she's at peace. So has anybody had any significant like grandmother or mother that has passed recently? Because I'm getting, there's an older female woman that has passed recently. And I'm supposed to tell this person that they're at peace. This older lady, she's at peace. It kind of was like oh, hello, Rachel. You resonate with the mom issues. Okay. With the lady passing, it was kind of sudden. I'm getting COVID. All right. So resonating with the mom. Oh, Betty White. Betty White did just die. Did she die of COVID? I never heard how she died. Hey, love Betty White. She was on the cover of People magazine. Hello, Amanda. Okay, so back to the mom issues. So, Rachel, if this resonates with you, I'm reading this to you. So, does your mom kind of hold you back? Because I said in the beginning that the eggs represent that these fairies are kind of breaking out of their shell. Does that resonate? And if that does, know that that you have the ability to embrace your creative side, and you don't need anybody to tell you not to, or tell you that you have to do something a certain way, whether however you express your creativity. That might be creativity through your job, through parenting, through other relationships, or just in an artistic hobby. If that is a thing with you, know that you can break free of that. And I'm just getting like a conversation. Like, you need to have a conversation with this person. You need to have a conversation with this person. And you need to have an honest conversation with this person, letting them know how it makes you feel. Oh, you feel small. You feel small and kind of guarded and shielded by this person. And you need to overcome that, because then you will be able to express more creatively. I can talk. Does that resonate with anybody? Does that help, Rachel? Do you sense a conversation maybe starting with this mom? Is it your mom? I'm definitely getting that strongly now that there is a conversation that needs to be had. Okay, great. Well, that was the first card. All right. And number 2, does that resonate with anybody? There is a 2. I usually ask if 2 resonates with anybody. So now to fill in the gaps. Oh, Rachel, yes, my mom. Okay, Rachel, well, you know what to do. You need to have a conversation with her and tell her how you feel. Because, okay, so I just want to like TMI some people. TMI who's watching, my viewers. I've been watching a lot of Hoarders. And I was thinking about the show that I was watching, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm like, there's so much, I'm empathic. I'm an empathic. And I can sense like people's pain or suffering or happiness. I'm sensitive to that. So I'm watching Hoarders, and I've been watching it like, episode after episode. And I was almost like, oh my God, I think I have to shut this off, because I'm just absorbing so much of the drama and the sadness that goes with the Hoarders. But to talk about hoarding is, sometimes I think we hoard our emotions, and we burden ourselves so much with how we think that we should feel. And you have to own your own feelings, because nobody can tell you how to feel. They can react to your emotions and how you express them, but you get to choose how you feel and how you don't feel about certain situations. And if you don't start dealing with those emotions, they're going to cause disease, and they're going to cause discomfort inside you, physically and mentally and emotionally. I've gone through it. I've gone through many releases, many emotions that were like way, way down and way deep in. And as you release them, it gets easier and easier to express your emotions. So know, Rachel, that you have the power. You're stronger than you think. Hello, Kelly. Thanks for hopping on. So I'm going to read from the book. Gentle Gardener. Be your own person. Be a conscious co-creator. The gentle gardener is visiting you at this moment in your life to remind you that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs create the reality you experience. Oh, hello, Maya. Hello. Thanks for tuning in. She is the embodiment of the energy within you that is sent out into the field of co-creation, and ensures that all that all that you are is reflected in the world of form. Are you aware of your thoughts? What is their quality? Believe in limitless possibility and you will see miracles unfold. The gentle gardener guarantees the integrity of everything you send out into the world. Stay positive and expect a wondrous return. Your garden is abundant with beauty. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Maya. Hi, Rachel. Who else is watching? And Grace. All right. Does anybody have any other questions before we move to the second card? That was a pretty powerful first card. I'm going to flip it. Ooh. We got solitude, people. We've got solitude and then number 13. And we've got a half moon. Which is, I believe that's kind of, I think we're in that phase because we are. Because, or we're getting close. Because my forgiveness ceremony is going to be on January 17th. So, yeah, that's in about 2 weeks. So that's ironic. Ooh, universe is coming through the cards. Hi, Lizzie. Welcome. All right, solitude. Right off the bat, I'm getting, does anybody have a problem with, are they struggling with, so I'm getting reflection. And sometimes we need to connect with our reflection and really look in ourselves and look in the mirror. Have you ever looked in the mirror before? Have you ever looked in the mirror specifically to look at yourself, not to put your makeup on, not to see if you have spinach in your teeth, or to brush your teeth, or to put your contacts in, but you clearly, have you ever just stopped in a mirror and just stood there and just looked into yourself? Do that. Your assignment tonight or tomorrow, sometime between tonight and tomorrow, is to just look into the mirror. And what do you see? Do you see a happy person? Do you see someone that's struggling? Do you see, and everything about it, like, how do you see yourself? Like, and is it just physical appearance you see? Or what do you see? Do you see wrinkles? Do you see sadness? Are you smiling when you look in the mirror? Or are you frowning? Take note of these things and just stare at yourself and really ask yourself, what do you see? Who am I? Who am I? And I am who? Ask yourself those questions. Let's look at the card again. So looking at the card again, I'm seeing that, okay, do you see like how this card is, okay, this is like what we see when we see it, like I'm looking like at this, what is this? Is this like a lighthouse or like a little tower? And do you see how it's kind of distorted on the bottom? Is that what we see? Because that's not what it is. I think this is representing that we look at ourselves so distorted. And that's not how people see us, really. They don't see all our flaws that we hide. Only we do. So this card is a message to anyone out there that's looking or that's listening and watching. Dig deep. Look inside yourself. And these flaws down here, do you see how it's kind of distorted? These flaws are not who we are here. These don't matter. This is just a perception. This is just a distortion of our imagination, of years of burden, years of unhappiness, years of abuse, years of self-doubt. That's all this is. This is just plaque and gunk, and this is the hoarding. This is the hoarding, the emotional hoarding. It's not who we are in real life. It's not who we are supposed to be. And this light, it represents that we have more light in ourselves than we give ourselves credit for. Woo! That's powerful. Ooh, I got tingles with that one. I like that one. Anybody resonating with that one? I'll show it again. Look at that. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what do you see? And there are no wrong answers. There are no wrong answers. Let's read from the book, folks. That's number 13. Ooh, I like that one. I like it. I like it. I get excited when I do readings. It's my calling. It's my gift. It's my purpose. That's why I'm here. I am comfortable in my own skin. Wow, isn't that a powerful statement after I just got done saying about the reflection? As I detach to replenish my soul. Meditation is required when you receive the solitude card as a sign. Empty your mind of superfluous, I think I said that right tonight, superfluous thoughts, and allow stillness to flow through your whole being. This is not an advantageous time to ask questions or push forward in any way. Rather, it's a period for a conscious retreat. What's called for now is to step back and take your focus off your life and your troubles. You'll be surprised of how things sort themselves out once you've replenished your energy by means of a much-needed rest and time out. Kelly, you asked if the ladder was only on top. No, you can't. You can faintly see it. You can faintly see it. But you notice how when you're looking at the reflection, that this ladder goes down and this ladder goes up. Kind of like your perception, like how you see things. The ladder is going down, like down in the dumps, like down not successfully, like down self-doubt. But in true life, it's actually going upwards. Isn't that amazing? So it's kind of like looking at the water glass like half full or half empty. That's so cool. Dig deep, ladies and gents, if there's any gents watching. Woohoo! Third card. This is fun. I love it. Ooh, Sacred Pool. I like this one. I've gotten this one before. And I think the number is 47. Sacred Pool. Okay, right off the bat, I'm getting a lot of emotional release. And I think that's kind of a theme for tonight is like emotions. Because this represents this like, what is it? It's kind of like light coming out of her mouth or out of her chest. Like, truth be told, like we carry so much burdens inside us, and we're always afraid to like say how we feel, say the truth, say we've done something wrong, confess, confess like, I'm thinking of something that's coming. Like, that really made me mad when you said that. Or I was really disappointed when you didn't show up. Really confess your emotions. That's what I'm getting. And see how she's floating? See how she's, to me, okay, I'm going to just go a little closer here. She's floating. So she's light and lifted. And honestly, those are the two words that I use when I do my releases. Anytime I do some kind of forgiveness ceremony or I get rid of something that's in my house that I just no longer have any use for, or that's something I've been hanging on to, pictures or letters from my past that don't serve me, I always feel light and lifted, light and lifted. And I think that really represents what all of us need to work on is letting go and, confess your emotions. Confess how you feel about certain people without yelling. You don't have to do it in an aggressive way. The Sacred Pool. And you see how like this lighting is so difficult in here because it's so bright. But you see how there's like kind of like a light, like a misty. That's like her energy. And it's kind of like V's up from her body. That's like her energy. That's like her aura. Hi, Kathy. This is the third card if you're just tuning in. I love that. So much there. Let's read from the book. Feel free to ask questions. We're going to do the crystal card next. Okay, so number 47, if that resonates with anybody. Sacred Pool. The world is a reflection of your thoughts. Okay, so I don't make this shit up. See, we had reflection in the solitude card. Cards don't lie. The world is a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Embody the love you wish to see in the world. Oh my God, you cannot make this shit up, people. When you look into the mirror, do you like what you see? Did I not just say that before this card? I'm telling you, I'm on point. I'm on fire tonight. This is awesome. The sacred pool card asks that you focus on self-love and self-esteem. Well, that's the theme tonight, ladies and gents. We are all works in progress, so a detached self-examination made with vigorous honesty is called for now. Reflect by the sacred pool and be at peace with yourself. Can you see how far you've come and how magical your life is? Do you notice the spark of the divine shining through your eyes? When you're conscious that you're the embodiment of spirit, it becomes easier to respect yourself and act in good conscience. Then you'll reap the greatest rewards. Your unique service to the world is not only needed but celebrated. I love that. That really resonates with me. Your unique service to the world is not only needed but celebrated. See the love within you and know that if you cast it upon the waters, it will return to you tenfold. Be at peace, for you are beautiful and loved. Act with surety and confidence, and success shall be yours, whatever your inquiry. I don't make this shit up, you guys. The cards don't lie. Any questions before I move on to the next deck? Well, that is awesome. I'm feeling so like tingly. Ooh, I love it when I don't really know like how a reading's gonna go, and then I just like get into it and I just kind of let spirit take over, and I just like my mouth take over, and it's awesome. Any questions? I'm legit, folks. Okay. We're going to do the crystal card next. This is fun, isn't it? Wouldn't you love to do this every Wednesday night? I am going to start picking a card at the beginning. I think I'm going to maybe at the beginning or the end of my lives, because I am doing one every Wednesday. And I'm so super proud of myself and super proud of all my viewers for tuning in and watching. I have new viewers like, every Wednesday. But honestly, I thought that I would like kind of give up and skip a Wednesday, but I have not skipped any Wednesdays since I said I was doing this. So this is like meditation for me. Okay. So for the crystal card, I usually let my client pick one out. When I'm doing them for myself, I usually do the day of the month, like today's the 5th. So that's how I do mine. But I'm going to lay them all out flat or straight this time. And see which one calls out. If you tuned in late, you should really watch this again, because all the cards from start to finish, there was a theme. And I didn't know there was a theme until we actually started getting into it. Okay, which one calls out to me? That was me. Ooh. Ooh, this one right here. Ooh. Excuse me. Smithsonite. Any questions? Anybody? How y'all feeling? Is this helping? This is a good reading. Very good reading. Smithsonite. Okay, so right off the bat, the number's 51, if that resonates with anybody. So right off the bat, I'm getting that this like, from here, it kind of has a sheen to it. But to me, this represents like kind of that plaque, kind of that emotions that we hoard and that we bury. And then there's like a swirl on the top. And I'm getting like a 180. Like we need to shift 180 lately to get rid of this plaque. Like, for instance, I'm going to reflect and going to reference watching the hoarders a lot lately. So when they come in and they have like professionals that come into these extreme hoarders, they call them. It's a mental disorder. And when these professional cleaning people and organizers come in, they just don't kind of pick and they just don't do like one room. They do the whole thing. So this swoop right here represents like the 180. So in order for a true, like a hoarder that has a lot of stuff, you need to do a 180. You need to totally like get rid of all the stuff in your house that does not serve you. So basically what this card is telling me is that you need to do a 180 shift because it's a brand new year. So whatever that means to you, we just did this to our house last weekend. We went through our back closet. We went through clothes upstairs. We actually burned some things that no longer served me. And it felt so good. And if you don't believe me, how good this can feel for you, like emotionally, physically, mentally, Google it, because there is something to be said about hanging on to stuff. And not that you guys are hoarders, but just you have to like declutter and get rid of that stuff. And I think we have to do that emotionally. And that's what I talked about before. So this card represents that. Getting rid of the emotional clutter that is placking your heart. We need to shine more. Your light's not going to shine if it's always like dim. You know, like how good can you see when your glasses are dirty? Not really. And then when you clean them, you're like, oh, I guess I should have cleaned them. Or your windshield. Or your lights on your car. You know, you can't see when stuff is dim. When stuff is dirty. Clean shit out. Do it. It's a brand new year. I bet there's like a box. At least a box. Start with the box. I bet everybody can get a box of stuff. But yeah, inside too. Emotions. You got to get rid of those emotions. Let's read from the book. 51. Smithsonite. Say that 10 times fast. Smithsonite, Smithsonite, Smithsonite. Okay. Essential meaning. Rebirth from chaos, evolution, stress relief, emotional boost, clearing of obstacles to growth. Okay, well, isn't that what the whole theme about was tonight? From here to there can be a rocky road, one that may even seem to move under your feet as you engage in a process of healing with roiling emotions. The journey can be confusing and unsettling and cause you to want to beat a hasty retreat. But Smithsonite message is clear as can be. You are haltingly moving forward into creating something new. If you feel as if you're unsteady and even going a little backward at times, it is only because you are being asked to look to the past and the lessons learned so that your next steps can be sure and steady. The ground is firm beneath you, the wind is at your back, and the universe is beside you. So there is no need to look for what may seem to be safer ground. The landscape around you is changing. You are changing, and soon you will feel much more settled if you heed the call of Smithsonite and trust that you'll be just fine, so breathe. It's all going to resolve soon, and the obstacles you find daunting will disappear. Well, that makes so much sense. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So, any questions? I'm going to do the self-love card because that's last. If you were in a 1 hour reading with me, we would have more conversation, we would have more feedback, and I would add 2 more cards in. But this is good. This is good for tonight. So these are the self-love cards that my friend Angela, she has a business. She is launching a new part of her self-love business. She is a meditation coach, self-love coach, and a massage therapist. And she has, this is her handle, Angela Rose. You can find her on Facebook. She has a Facebook group. I think it's Unleashed. And she's Angela Rose on YouTube and on Instagram. And she's launching a new part of her business for relationship coaching. So she made these cards. She said it took her 2 weeks. She just Took 2 weeks and channeled it. And she did the artwork herself. Beautiful. Beautiful. So at the end of a reading, I'll let my client pick a card from this deck and they get to take it with them. And I usually have mine in my bathroom. So I'm going to lay them out like I would for the client. Do. And you have to say that each time. Do. Well, I'm going with this one right on top. It's calling to me. Oh, this is a good one. This kind of goes with our... There's not much art with this one. The art is on the front and the words are on the back. Ooh. Fear is a liar. It is important to know that most of us think we are not enough or too much. You are not alone, excuse me, in feeling this way. Most of us also feel scared of trying new things, terrified of life not working out, afraid we won't succeed or fail. If you are feeling any of these things, you are normal. I am here to tell you that these are fears, but they are not true. You have an idea, feeling about something, or a dream because it is for you. Our fears will evolve as we evolve. Are you going to let fear dictate your life, or are you willing to step into your greatness? Come back home to you. Name your fears. What are they? Have a releasing ceremony. Tear up the page and burn it. Okay, you can't make this shit up. I'm talking about doing a forgiveness ceremony January 17th. Decide to feel afraid and do it anyways. Okay, I'm going to talk about something after I read the SOAR mantra. So here's your mantra. Here's your kind of affirmation. I can feel afraid and still let my heart and soul lead me towards my next best step. So decide to feel afraid and do it anyways. I want to talk about this a little bit. So I know a gal, and she was a little apprehensive about coming to my forgiveness ceremony. And she's like, well, she says, am I going to cry? And I said, well, it depends how much you're open. You know, you might cry. You might cry, you might scream, you might get mad, you might just sit there and just kind of, you know, be in the moment and just observe and just, you know, let it all sink in and then cry on your own. But she's like, well, I don't want to cry. And I said, well, do you want to cry for a half hour? Do you want to feel uncomfortable for a half hour? Or do you want to feel uncomfortable and cry for the next 30 years? Do you want to deal with your shit now? Or do you just want to feel like shit for the next 30 years? Because you've already bottled this up for 30, 50 years, or however long it's been for you. But do you want to keep bottling up? No, we have to get that shit out so we can expand, we can grow, we can become the perfect version of ourselves that we are truly meant to be on this planet. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. We carry around so much plaque, so much burden, and we're afraid of getting it out because we're afraid what that person might think of us, or we're afraid what we might feel after we do release it. But I can tell you 100%, 110%, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better the next day, and then maybe 2 days later. Releases come like waves. You know, there was a Facebook, my group, my post about the waves coming in and coming out. I went through literally that. I went through a release in the ocean when I was on my trip in Tulum. It was amazing. For as shitty as I felt, so I puked, I cried, I had the shakes, I had the tremors, I had the worst migraine that I've ever had in a long time. And I was in a new country, in a new place with a new friend of mine, and I was not home, and it was dark. I was alone for a while until my friend had got there because her flight was different. Longer story. But honestly, I would love to go through that release again because of what I became on the other side. Like, after I got through with it. I felt amazing. Amazing. And that was in November, and I'm still reaping the benefits of that release, and I needed that release. I needed to go to Tulum to experience that release. And it scared the shit out of me. I can't recall that I've ever had a panic attack, but that was a full blown panic attack, mini stroke, you name it. It was quite the release, and it was in the ocean. And hello, Dennis. We have a newbie. Hello, a newbie man, a male watching. I like that. We need more men watching this kind of stuff. They need to find the masculine side needs to find the feminine side, and vice versa. So Dennis, we're talking about the waves of emotion. And literally when I was standing in the ocean, it was at night. It was about 6:00 at night in Tulum. And I was standing in the ocean, and I'm still kind of going through this panic attack. And it was after I threw up, and my friend was like, let's just go put our feet in the water, because it was the first night we got there. And I'm standing in the waves, just like, I can't swim. So I was standing like calf deep, and the waves coming in, how'd that go again? So the waves coming in were like, I was crying, and I was having like a memory, and I was upset, and I was just verklempt, and I was just hyperventilating. The waves would go out, and my breathing would change, and I'd make a joke. The waves would come back in, and I would be like crying again, and I'd be shaking, and I'd be having like a kind of a bad memory about something. And then the waves would go out, and I'd make another joke, and I'd smile, and I'd laugh. And so literally, like when they say waves of emotion, that's exactly what it is. And I mean, it was scary. It was like the scariest, worst feeling in the world. But I'm telling you, for what I've experienced from that today and up until today, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. You wouldn't even have to pay me. I would do that awful release again in a heartbeat. Now, I probably won't, because there was years and years and years of release that have been released. And not that I want to go through that again, but if I had to do that, I would, because of the benefits of that release. And yeah, it's pretty powerful. Releasing are pretty powerful. So I'm charging for readings now, $30 for an hour. Reach out to me. I believe my cell is in my Facebook profile details. Otherwise, you can message me through my personal Facebook, which is Tanya Lajesta-Masevich, or on this group. I prefer this group, which is Intuitive Minds Already Know. Reach out to me there, please. We can set up a time. And a 30-minute reading is $15. And the forgiveness ceremony, there is an event. And if the forgiveness ceremony is going to be Monday, January 17th at 6:46 p.m., because that's technically when there's a full moon. I have mentioned in my live last Wednesday that if the weather is bad, we're going to do it Tuesday. And if the weather is still bad on Tuesday, we are going to push it into February, the full moon on February. A little bit about the forgiveness ceremony. There is homework to do. So it's going to be at my house. I'm going to turn up the heat in my garage, and we will congregate in my garage for a little bit. If it's too cold, we'll just do the forgiveness ceremony in my garage, and then at the end of it, we'll just go out to the fire and burn our stuff. But if the roads are too bad, then I will cancel it. But if it's just temperature wise, and there's no ice or snow, no dangerous roads to drive, we'll probably still do it if it's like, maybe like 10 above or 0. I'll turn the heat up in my garage, and I'll go through. I'll talk about what we're gonna do, and then we'll go around. Hopefully there's enough people that will have a circle, and we'll go around, and you can either say it from your head, or you don't have to say it out loud at all. You can just kind of be present. And I recommend you writing it down, because when you write it down, you put things on paper, you put things into the universe, and then we burn our forgiveness letters. If you don't know who to forgive, start with yourself. Self-doubt. There you go. That's one. As you're writing things down, you will open up some mental portals, and you'd be surprised how many things that you want to either apologize for and or forgive yourself and others for. So that's the homework. And then we'll have some cider and snacks at that. Okay? So is there any other questions? Oh, the next Wednesday live at 8 o'clock. I think I had on my piece of paper. 1 second, folks. Yes, this is a two-parter. If you've been following me from the beginning, I talk a lot about my releasing. We are going, hi Terry! You're going to have to, hi sister, you're going to have to watch it from the beginning because you missed out on the cards. It's a two-part series because there's a lot to talk about. And I've had a lot of experience in this releasing, which I just kind of indulged in a little bit. But we are going to go deep into the definition of release, what it means to me, and I might bring somebody, I might have a special guest that day because a certain someone special in my life has had a similar release. So maybe he'll come on. Maybe he'll be home that night and he'll want to join me. So next Wednesday is a two-part series. The first part, both parts are going to be released, but I'm going to do 2 weeks on it because there's just so much to talk about. And I don't want to bore you all after 45 minutes. So if there isn't any questions, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in every Wednesday who has. Reach out to me if you would like oracle card reading. It's super fun. We get to connect. We get to talk, catch up, have coffee, touch cards, look at each other, and help each other feel better. Thanks for watching. Tune in next Wednesday. And join me January 17th for a forgiveness ceremony. Good night. Peace, love, joy.